Continental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Good evening. You're watching the Chairman's Report. This program is brought to you by IBC 13 and the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, an agency under the Office of the President mandated to connect the Filipino diaspora with their home country. I am Dante, Klink, I'm the second chairperson of the CFO and your program host. Our guest tonight is Mr. Eric Lachica, a Filipino-American advocate and organizer of the U.S. Medicare PH Incorporated, a national membership advocacy organization for Filipino-American seniors to extend long-term Medicare coverage for their retirement destination. Back in 2021, he organized a lobbying campaign with the Philippine Nurses of America and the Association of Philippine Physicians of America that persuaded U.S. President Joe Biden to release the initial 5 million doses of AstraZeneca COVID vaccines donated to the Filipino people. As the son of a Filipino-American World War II veteran, he has also served as the executive director of the American Coalition for Filipino Veterans. In that role, he led a successful campaign that passed 5 bills in the U.S. Congress that provided more than $300 million in benefits for Filipino World War II veterans and dependents. Over the past 3 decades, he has trained and organized hundreds of community group leaders for action at the Capitol Hill and at the White House. He received the International Leadership Foundation Award in 2004, presented by the U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Norman Mineta. Mr. Lachica was a White House State Dinner guest of President George W. Bush in 2003 and was also a guest of President Barack Obama during the White House Veterans Day breakfast from 2011 to 2013 and 2016 in recognition of the Filipino World War II veterans. Mr. Eric Lachica, welcome to the Chairman's Report. Thank you for making time.
Glad to be here.
So, just so that people will know what we're talking about, maybe for our Philippine audience, maybe if you can just briefly describe or explain to them what is Medicare and what is Medicaid. And then maybe we'll talk about its portability after that.
Yes, very well. But first of all, thank you for guesting here
Sure.
on your show. Medicare is very simple in the United States. If you're elderly, 65 and above, you're entitled to full Medicare or medical coverage at all the hospitals. And Medicare provides also some temporary coverage overseas. Mm-hmm. And it also affects handicapped older Americans. So as opposed to Medicaid, which is an insurance plan for any of low-income, mga pobreng, mga Americans
Right.
who are under the age of 65. And for our 4.5 million plus Filipino Americans, Medicare is what they look forward to when they retire. Mm-hmm. So ang aming advocacy group is to really make portability, which is we can bring our Medicare
Right.
coverage here.
Right. Now, when PhilAms and other U.S. citizens travel, there's a limited period where you can continue receiving those benefits, right? I mean, but I suppose what you're trying to do is to make that long-term. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, because under established Medicare regulations, you have to maintain your U.S. residency.
Right.
And if you live overseas, just like my parents back in the early 2000s, they realized that if you stay at my dad's hometown in Dumaguete,
Yeah.
they found out, they were told by Medicare, if you live in the Philippines more than 6 months,
you
they'll cut you off.
lose your residency.
You lose your residence and you get cut off.
And you lose your benefits.
Exactly.
I see. So, in order to do what you hope to do, of course, requires action on the U.S. side. It requires a new law,
Yes,
essentially, right?
exactly. We have to change Medicare law to extend Medicare coverage permanently for those who choose to reside overseas.
Okay.
We have more than 10 million Americans now living overseas, and probably about 2 million are elderly. And we have legislation which was introduced 2 years ago by our sponsors from Guam, from California, and other states in Virginia to allow Medicare, their head office, the Center for Medicaid Services near Baltimore, Maryland, to do a 10-year pilot program to see the cost savings by allowing our elderly to retire overseas. Not just the Philippines, but other countries would be involved.
Sure.
Because of the large number of first-generation Americans,
yeah.
immigrants.
So is the Philam community the biggest group, or are you the Philam community is the lead because you're working with other migrant communities in the U.S., or this was initiated by the Philam community?
Yes, this issue has been raised almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
I've been working on it for the past 15 years.
Wow.
The overseas coverage is a big concern, for our elderly from different countries.
Sure.
The legislation that was just introduced early last year, back in May, was that to allow 12 countries, the Philippines being the lead country, to be a host of returning Filipino Americans. So we have bipartisan support. We have both Republicans and Democrats supporting it. Unfortunately, because of the government shutdown, the highly partisan.
Lots of things going on in the U.S.
So we're hopeful when I get back
Yep.
to Washington in late March
Yeah.
that we can get the legislation started again with support from the Republicans and Democrats. And to our audience, who are in America, we would need their support, especially when engaging with
Right.
their Congress member.
Their
and
local
senator.
representative.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Now, I want to circle back to what you said earlier, because I think, if I remember correctly, the main argument that you're proposing is that there is a cost savings to the United States if they approve this. Can you talk more about that?
Yes, well, the costs are very clear here, lower here in the Philippines, especially
The cost of healthcare in the Philippines,
healthcare, right,
relative to the U.S.
Yes, for example, I saw a specialist for my asthma just yesterday. She just charged me 1,500 pesos, which
Okay.
is what $30 or
Yeah.
So. In the U.S., you see a specialist, it's like $200, $300 minimum,
Wow.
for a consultation.
Yeah.
And Medicare would have paid for that if I was, in Maryland, where I live. So the cost savings especially are dramatic if we choose to reside here,
Yeah.
because of the cost of living
Yeah.
is much, much lower. We anticipate at least a 50% savings to the Medicare system kung pwede tayo mag-retire dito.
Right.
Because the studies have been done many times over, like if you're under a Medicare Advantage plan, which Medicare pays an insurance company to cover an elderly American, they will be saving at least 50%. Because in the United States, it runs about $1,400 to $1,600 a month. These insurance companies have paid that amount to take care.
Is that the premium, or
That's
the cost?
The cost. The capitated care sa
I see,
US.
yeah.
So binabayaran yung insurance company like Kaiser or CM or Blue Cross,
Right.
United
The HMOs,
Healthcare.
yeah.
Fixed yan.
Yeah.
It's about $1,400, and it's online. You can see what they pay, and the rates are different for different states.
Yeah.
Okay, so if for example, Kaiser allows me to retire here, they'll be saving, instead of paying their facility
Dollars,
they will be reimbursed by Medicare at half the rate at least.
I see.
Oo. And kasi right now, I can get all my charges, which I accumulated yesterday from my consultation, and
Can you get reimbursed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a resident of Maryland.
Right.
Okay. So, ganun ang system in the Philippines. The cost savings, especially for our disabled Filipino Americans, are high. I have a brother-in-law who owns 2 nursing homes in Los Angeles area, in the desert, the cheaper part of Southern Cal. It runs at least $10,000 a month
Wow.
to take care of disabled,
Right.
who needs a caregiver.
Right.
So that's where we want to invest in the Philippines, our retirement resources.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful that we get support from the Philippine government and like your great commission to help work in partnership. Like last year, we formed a partnership with the
Yes.
Philippine Department of Health, the Philippine Retirement Authority, and others to get this thing going, especially our private sector stake key holders, St. Luke's, Makati Med, the Ayala Health Network, and others, the Private Hospital Association, to work as a team para we can have a systematic way of working
A
back.
coordinated campaign.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yun ang kailangan. We're competing against other countries, especially under the 10-year pilot program that we have agreed to. We'll be competing with Canada, with Mexico, with Vietnam, not with Vietnam, but other countries, South Korea, because they have representatives in the U.S. Congress who want them to be part of our demonstration project.
I see. I have to go on break, but you had a figure that you're estimating how much portability would save in terms of dollars. How much would the U.S. government save if they were to agree to the portability? Something like, is it $8 billion or $2 billion?
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
At least, because of the cost savings.
The differences and and probably with a higher quality of because it's much more affordable here. Yeah.
And that's for an estimated 400,000 Filipino Americans and their spouses who retire here.
You're right.
And get covered by Medicare at a discounted rate.
Wow, very good. You're watching the Chairman's Report. I'm Dante, Klink. We're talking about the portability of Medicare and Medicaid with Mr. Eric Lachica. We'll be right back.
Naman para sa travel enthusiast ang pagkakaroon ng visa-free entry sa ilang ASEAN member country.
Pinakabagong mga presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin dito sa may balintawak public market.
Ng social media, there's a constant fight against disinformation.
They're cute, talented, and oozing with confidence. Kantahan, sayawan, modeling, at storytelling. Nangunguna ang mga batang bibo. Talents Academy, tuwing Sabado, alas 4:30 ng hapon sa IBC 13.
Welcome back to the Chairman's Report. I'm Dante Klink. We're talking to Mr. Eric Lachica about portability of Medicare and Medicaid. Eric, let me play devil's advocate here for a minute, because some of the people we talk to are somewhat skeptical about our campaign, the one that we're working on, because they say that once Filipinos leave the Philippines, they never want to come back. Obviously, that's not true, right? But what's the case for retiring in the Philippines? Why are PhilAms looking at retiring here?
Yes. Well, there was a study done by the largest senior group, the AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons, back in 2014. They interviewed 2,000 Filipinos in America and 2,000 Chinese Americans. And would you believe 70% are seriously considering retiring in their homeland, Philippines?
70%.
70%.
And we have like 4.5 million, some say 5.1 million Filipinos in the U.S.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and you probably have about 15% of them are seniors.
Okay.
So we anticipate at least from the get-go about 400,000 would be a tsunami of retirees here in the Philippines, mga PhilAms and their spouses. So it's very critical that we have a system in place to welcome them back, to guide them, to provide the capacity. I've been working on this for 15 years. Earlier, the first 5 years, the problem was the capacity. There were not enough beds at St. Luke's or the Medical City.
We don't have enough St. Luke's or medical cities.
Yes. So then, of course, the big issue of corruption. I know you're aware, back in the 2000, the Philippines was blacklisted because of the corruption of, especially under the U.S. military TRICARE Philippines program. They have about 30,000 American, many of them Filipino Americans, who retired here, who will get covered by the U.S. military insurance program. But there was too much hanky-panky. So the Philippines was blacklisted until it was only restored in, I think, around 2010, 2012.
Okay.
So we have to, the bottom line here is we have to create confidence in the retirement in the Philippines, especially with healthcare coverage. That's a very critical part.
So the point is, there is a demand. I guess that's the question.
Oh, definitely.
And because some people would think, they see ang ganda ng buhay sa America.
Yeah.
Right? Why come back? Why come back during your senior years?
Yes, and the cost factor, quality of life, caregivers. Ako, my wife told me kung...
Or some people just don't like the cold.
True, like kami sa Washington, D.C. My wife, for example, told me, if I become disabled, God forbid, she authorized me, okay, mag-retire ka na sa Dumaguete, I'll pay for your caregiver. So sabi ko sa misis ko, how about my love giver? So ganun talaga, you have to do your due diligence preparing. And in fact, many of our less fortunate elderly, because of their age, they're widows or widowers, they don't have the plan or the family network anymore to prepare them for the transition back here. And many very destitute. You'll be surprised in California, which is very good social safety net. The costs are so high. It could, in fact, the cost in California is so high. Taking us of the elderly, they're seriously considering about Medicare portability. Classic case, our Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, who's Attorney General. His mom, his mom is also a fellow activist from the Vietnam era. She wants to retire. She's also from Dumaguete. She wants this to happen. Cynthia Bonta. So those are the good examples of why we want to retire here. We have very fond memories of growing up. I grew up here in Dumaguete and also here in Parañaque. So I have fond memories. I grew up, I was the eldest in my family. My friends were, our neighborhood kids. They have nipa huts. They only had bakya, So I understand the challenges of growing up, growing old here in the Philippines, and how our retirement program with Medicare portability would really boost the economy, the income stream, create jobs. Like for each retiree, we create 4 new jobs.
Jobs in the Philippines.
From caregiver to a driver to
So it's a win-win. It'll save the U.S. money. It'll create jobs and economic opportunities here in the Philippines.
Exactly.
But is retiring in the Philippines only appealing to the first generation of migrants? Because I see in the U.S. a lot of Americans, not just Filipino, but Americans looking at Ecuador. Some people are living in Mexico because of the cost of living. Costa Rica. So. Well, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, are the younger generation of the Filipino diaspora who probably grew up or were born in the U.S., are they also looking at?
Definitely.
Maybe not just the Philippines, but Costa Rica, other places, and
Ensenada or Mexico.
Yes, exactly.
Fishing capital. Cabo San Lucas.
So obviously, they have all of those options. So where do you think Philippines would? What would be the competitive edge of the Philippines? Because their edge, of course, there is that if they want to go back to the States, it's just
2-hour drive, 3-hour drive. Yes, and that's going to be a big challenge. Our legislation that's been introduced last year would cover 12 countries. Of course, the Philippines being the leading one.
Okay.
So it has to be systematic.
I
I used the example of Thailand, Vietnam. You know, why does Vietnam get 21 million tourists?
Yeah.
While the Philippines is less than 7 million as of last year.
Yeah.
There's system in place
There's the
to attract.
infrastructure, yeah.
Yeah, in Thailand, in Phuket,
Yeah.
that's the Boracay of Thailand.
Yeah.
Why is Phuket gets almost 10 times as number of visitors? Why? Does Boracay have an emergency room?
Yeah.
Does it have a hospital? Question mark.
Yeah.
Go to Phuket or Phuket,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
will have at least 10 hospitals and
Yeah.
clinics. Just catering to the tourists.
Yeah.
Those issues, and probably heard about that prominent TV personality. Her son nearly died in Siargao, but there was no emergency room.
Yeah.
So all of these things have to be part of the systematic planning and implementation of interagency working group to focus on this. We've had attempts way back in 2014 to create an interagency group between DOH, PRA.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What happened?
Unfortunately, because of politics again and the big C, things didn't work out.
I see.
And unfortunately, during the previous administration, they were perceived as anti-American. So yun ang problema over the previous administration. I think we've, with the new Bongbong administration, with the focus on private industry, working in the private sector, to really boost the economy, and to drive against corruption, I think this thing will work in the next 2 years. We have a 2-year window, in my opinion.
Yeah. So are PhilAms looking at just Metro Manila because this is where we have the St. Luke's, the medical cities, and others, or are you also talking to others? I mean, you mentioned Dumaguete, but
Yes.
About maybe putting up tier 1 hospitals there. Is that part of the effort? Or are you mainly focused on the lobbying part in the U.S. Congress right now?
Well, frankly, I'm focusing in this coming March on when I get back.
That's your
on the
main
legislation to get it introduced again.
That's the first step.
First step, because we have to synchronize all of these because of the close partnership between the Trump 2.0 and the Bongbong administration. We want to succeed, and I think I mentioned to you that as a pasalubong, when President Bongbong Marcos met with Trump in the White House back in July, Bongbong got 65 million economic assistance, and back in September he got a package of $250 million from the State Department, the leftover funds from USAID, just for the public health sector of the Philippines, preventing epidemics, disaster relief, so forth. $250 million that's been promised by Trump 2.0 should be implemented this year.
Okay.
This will create nationwide, because we don't want tourists in Siargao or in Dumaguete or in Ilocos, elsewhere to face, where's the emergency room? Where's the ambulance?
Right.
So I recommended over the years to really the major hospital chains, the Manny Pangilinan Group, the ACE Hospital, the Amado Enriquez chain. They have 9 or 10 hospitals to really work as a network, as a trade industry group, to really create, with the Ayala Health Network, with their subdivisions, a working group to really create incentives, promotional campaigns for our retirement market in the United States. And I think I've suggested to you and your team to have a roadshow. This coming June or July, August, perfect time to reach out during our Kalayaan parades in New York City. You know how long the parade is in New York City? It takes about 2 hours just the Philippine floats to go by. And so those things are crucial in confidence building. And of course, there should be stakeholders who will be promoted to, like, retirees already here from Tagaytay, from the Ilocos Norte, to the places in the Visayas, in Davao, to talk. I've retired in Davao, I've retired in Cebu, I enjoy this, this is what it costs me to to live here,
Yeah.
and I have a good doctor that I trust. All these things have to be part of the package.
Yeah, so the whole 9 yards, as they say.
Yeah.
We just have to take a quick break. If you're watching the Chairman's Report, please stay with us.
Bagong Pilipinas. Mahalaga ang kapakanan ng bawat isa. Lahat ng aspeto ng lipunan pinagtutuunan ng pansin ng pamahalaan at ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Bagong Pilipinas, PBBM, Lingkod ng Bayan. Tuwing Linggo, alas 8:30 ng umaga.
Kayo ba ay may mga isyong may kinalaman sa karapatang pantao o pangkalusugan?
Isyung legal at pangangailangang medikal, ito ang programang magbibigay payo, tulong para sa mga mamamayang nangangailangan. Kasama sina Congressman Zia Alonto Adyong at Attorney Mix Nograles.
Makakasama niyo kami sa paghahatid ng kwento at tulong, pag-asa at pagbibigay ng mabilis at di kalidad na serbisyo.
Tutukan ang lahat ng ito sa House at Your Service tuwing Sabado, 1:00 ng hapon, dito sa IBC 13 at Congress TV.
Welcome back to the Chairman's Report. I'm Dante, Klink. We're talking to Mr. Eric Lachica. Eric, you were also involved in a drawn out but very equally significant lobbying effort to give our World War II veterans the benefits they were promised. Talk to us about that experience, and is there something there that maybe we should remember or carry forward in this new effort to make Medicare and Medicaid portable?
Yes, first of all, it's part of the cultural challenge in advocacy work and making things better for all of us is to really take a proactive approach to engage with our decision makers, our deciders. We have to really overcome our natural Filipino shyness.
Yes.
And that's part of the training we do as an organizer to our community, first generation.
To speak up.
To speak up.
Yeah.
Yung mga veterano, andyan na yung si Senator Inouye.
Yeah.
Tanungin mo na,
Yeah.
huwag kayo mahiya,
I
ganun.
see.
When you have, with Ted Kennedy, Senator Ted Kennedy was, in fact, he was the one who led the immigration fight back in the 1965. Without Ted Kennedy being in the Senate, we would not have the immigration which President LBJ Johnson took over. So that's why my parents immigrated back in 1969.
I see.
So all of these things take a lot of advocacy work, and my role as an organizer, in addition to training them to be to engage their Congress member or their senator, is to know first of all what you want.
Okay.
To be realistic, to be pragmatic. Kasi small victories are achievable. If you aim too high, as Senator Inouye, who is a World War II veteran himself, who's a congressional gold medal
From Hawaii.
Yeah. He had told us from the get-go. He told all our commanders, Filipino veterans, you guys are military officers. You serve, and you don't win a war in one battle. You have to win battles along the way. To take it step by step. And to be realistic, there were some advocates, unfortunately, who were not experienced in this business, were aiming too high. They were asking one. Clinton was asked by former President Ramos, this is part of the historical record, by the way. He asked for $1.2 billion lump sum payments, $20,000 each to all our living Filipino World War II veterans. Clinton stared at him, why are you asking that? That's 1.2 billion. And, that's why we didn't get much headway during the Clinton time. There was a big debate in our community. We have to take a pragmatic approach. What the U.S. Congress would allow us to engage. We had several demonstrations around the White House.
Sure.
To let our veteran leaders know, yan ang kailangan para matuto si Clinton na pansinin kayo.
Yeah.
So we got that.
So how many years the
20 years.
20 years.
Oh, to get our full benefits, slice
Wow.
by slice. We
Right,
get one
right, right. Wow.
First, we got burial benefits.
Okay.
That's why my parents are buried in National Cemetery,
I
Riverside,
see.
California. We got supplementals, SSI. Kasi kung pobre ka sa Pilipinas, you get $500 or $700 in California. We allowed Social Security. Okay, we'll give you, give us a discount. Imbis na $700, just give us $500. Our veteran will return to the Philippines.
I see.
More than almost 5,000 have gone back in the end of the 1999 to retire here. So they could be with their loved ones. Kasi kawawa naman sila. You go to San Francisco, New York, ito yung mga veterano, they go through the trash looking for bottles and cans. Kasi they got citizenship. Okay? But they didn't get
But not support, yeah.
no recognition.
No recognition.
Oh, so they had to end up with supplemental security income, 500 in other states, 700 in California at the time. Yeah, 650. So they were able to get. When you come back from here in the 2002, $500 a month. Malaki na yon.
Yeah.
So the next step after getting special veterans benefit, and it applies to any American World War II veteran. If they wanted to retire in Germany or in Mexico, they would get the same amount. So, yun ang gusto ng Congress is that the Filipino American World War II veterans set the precedent for other groups. Yung healthcare benefits, under the leadership of Lloyd and Nicholas Lewis, our philanthropist from New York, we led this way during the Bush II, W. Bush, to get him to recognize bakit pinapansin tayo. You went to school in Texas. You know, maraming mga Pilipino pala.
Yeah.
Yung mga katulong niya sa Houston, the Bush family.
Yeah.
And they were talking to him about it.
Yeah.
We deserve to be
Nurses,
treated like
doctors, yeah.
Yeah, and also those personal relationships pay off.
So is the lesson there perseverance? Because some people, they're skeptical because they know it's as you said, a tough fight. No? But we were talking earlier. You were saying something that it takes a minimum of 7 years to pass a law in Congress.
Yes, that's the average
The
time.
average
takes,
time, yeah.
When you have it introduced to get it passed in its final form. Just like our Filipino World War II equity legislation, it took stages. Muna yung burial benefit, yung healthcare benefit, and yung equity full lump sum. Yung we got that under Bush II, kay W. Bush. He supported the equity campaign. You get it through Congress, I will sign the law. I will support the budget for it. Okay, we had to deal with the Democrats noon, ang hawak ng Congress eh. Sabi ni Speaker Pelosi, we can't give you 700 million or 800 million. We can only give Filipino veterans based on the budget 200 million.
Okay.
O inayos ng aming sponsor, si chairman ng committee, si Bob Filner from Chula Vista, San Diego area.
Okay.
Si Senator Inouye in the Senate, they're chairman of the committees. Appropriations, sa veterans, si Senator Daniel Akaka. Okay, let's have a compromise. In this na we're asking $1 billion, we'll ask lump sum
Okay.
199 million.
Something more realistic.
Yeah. Yun ang top limit. So all of these things, that's part of the negotiation process. You gotta find out what budget they have to work with. Sige na, okay, we'll take it. We will work with it and we will get benefits.
Yeah.
Kasi these guys are passing away.
Sure. But are the Filipino community organizations, are they organized now? Because it seems like, you need, I should say, coordinated effort
Exactly.
to appeal to both sides of the aisle,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah.
In the U.S. Congress. Right?
Ganun talaga, especially with our community, as you know, one very astute American lawyer told me, he was impressed with the work we've done. Sabi niya, it's just like, Eric, you're just like herding cats together. Kasi ang mga Filipino, kanya-kanya, di ba? Ibang probinsya, Caviteños,
different priorities.
Ilocano, Bisaya,
Yeah.
So getting them to work together, even our Filipino World War II veterans in the U.S., kanya-kanyang grupo.
Sure.
So the big challenge was to get them to work together, have a coalition, working with our American veterans. Kasi kalala, I'm Filipino veteran. I won't work with my VFW, American Legion. What? They're allies. They're the biggest, most powerful bloc in Washington,
So
D.C.
how did you get them to work together, and then how do we get PhilAmps now to work together for the lobbying effort for Medicare, Medicaid?
It's basically connecting the dots, getting them to work to each other, finding common ground, common interests. Kasi ganyan ang buhay. There are always interests to resolve, and we're making them, what's in it for them. Like our businessmen from Texas, from California, who want to open retirement homes dito.
I see.
So what will it take? Who will take care of us there? Who will shepherd around us the bureaucracies of Pilipinas? What are the incentives? Kasi we tried it 15 years ago. We had a medical tourism retirement roadmap under Senator Angara here in the Philippine Senate. It went nowhere.
The father, the son.
The son. There was now the
Education Secretary, Sunny.
Yeah, Sunny. We had a draft bill. But unfortunately, two government agencies nag-away. See, that kind of stuff. In fact, there were hearings. Why can't you guys work together? You're servicing the same market.
So, what do PhilAmps need to do, or maybe their relatives here in the Philippines? Should they tell their relatives in the US, oy, sulatan mo yung congressman mo or something? Or do they become a member of your movement? Or how do you mobilize them now?
Yes, priority-wise, that's why I'm here in the Philippines with some of our leaders, is to really engage all the key agencies. CFO, thank you so much to your leadership.
Of course,
Klink, and with Secretary Herbosa, DOH, our friend here, a good friend, to really have the working plan. Because they also have initiative. I just found out yesterday, just Googling it, I didn't know that DOH has about 4 million, 5 million to do a 10-year plan for medical tourism.
Yes, yeah,
that would be fantastic.
I didn't know about the figure, but I know there's a plan for medical tourism talaga.
That should be part of the game plan that we work with our PRA folks
on Philippine Retirement Authority.
They certify retirement homes. Para, I know that we have several partners here in Cebu, in Iloilo, and here in Metro Manila. Doctors, retired nurses from the United States are putting their money where their mouth is. They're opening up a 50-bed facility dyan sa Rizal. So she's an enterprising entrepreneur from Florida, Filipina-American. So all of these things are the opportunities that we have to work with as a team. Kung walang Philippine team, talo tayo.
But the economic angle is very interesting. So it's not just sentimental.
No.
There's really a need and an economic argument to make here. Please stay with us. You're watching the Chairman's Report. We're talking to Mr. Eric La Chica about portability of Medicare, Medicaid. We'll be right back.
Ano nga ba ang nangyari sa ikalawang linggo ng impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte? Operation Romanov na sinasabing banta sa buhay ng Vice Presidente at naging ugat ng kanyang grave threats laban sa First Family, nagmula pala kay Mayor Baste Duterte. Ilang testigo ng prosekusyon hindi na padadaluhin sa paglilitis. Senator Dante Marcoleta kulong na sa New Quezon City Jail Male Dormitory matapos sabihin ng Philippine General Hospital na pwede na siyang humarap sa paglilitis. At kilalanin rin natin ang isa sa mga katuwang na international law ng UNCLOS sa pangangalaga sa ating mga karagatan, ang BBNJ Agreement.
All that and more sa Ang Senado ng Pilipinas ngayong linggo, 9:30 a.m. sa IBC TV 13 at sa aming social media pages.
What the hell nga ba tayo sa mga health benefits at mga sakit na kayang pagalingin umano ng kilalang herbal na tawa-tawa? Gaano ito ka-epektibo at kaligtas gamiting panggamot sa mga sakit tulad ng dengue? Ating aalamin.
Nagsisimula na naman ang tag-ulan. Paniguradong umaaligid na naman ang mga small but terrible na lamok na siyang nagdadala ng sakit na dengue. Paano nga ba makaiiwas sa malaking pinsala sa ating kalusugan na maaaring idulot ng maliit na insektong ito? Lahat ng yan ay ating hihimayin kasama ang isang medical expert.
At ang inyong mga katanungan sa gamot, ating sasagutin. Abangan sa Doc Truba ngayong linggo, 7:30 ng umaga. Dito lamang yan sa IBC TV 13.
Welcome back to the Chairman's Report. I'm Dante, Klink, talking to Mr. Eric La Chica. Let's talk about your story. I mean, you moved to the States when you were how old?
I was 16 years old.
16. I moved to the U.S. when I was 14. But, you know, they say, nandun ka na. Gusto pa bumalik. What about you personally? Why do you want... You mentioned Dumaguete. What's the secret sauce of Dumaguete that's pulling you back?
Yeah, first to answer the first part, because I grew up, my friends were neighborhood kids who had lived very modestly with the nipa huts.
You have ties here.
Ties dito. And I saw the challenges of overcoming poverty, especially in school. I'm very fortunate. My mom was a magna cum laude. We lived in Parañaque, one of the nice middle-class homes.
Sure.
We're surrounded by nipa huts.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate. I go fishing din sa mga fish ponds in Wawa, area right there when it was still very rustic back then. So, and I had very pleasant experience in Dumaguete, my dad's hometown. My grandfather was a governor appointed by President Osmeña right after World War II. So we were very fortunate. We had some land on my father's side, and my mom's from Numancia, and she grew up in Iloilo, got college, and she was also a valedictorian. I just want to honor my mom, credit, because we inherited many of her advantages, especially education. And my mom was on good looks. My mom was the Ingrid Bergman back in the 60s. She was the cover of the Philippine Free Press, if you...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
really?
but she was brains and beauty. Brains first, that's her. So, I've been very fortunate, and we play forward, pass on. I'm the eldest. I have 6 other siblings. One passed away just 2 years ago. She would have been retired in Puerto Princesa, but her illness caught up with her. So this in Dumaguete is a #1 choice. They would rate it, what parts of the Philippines for American.
Parañaque might be jealous.
Yeah, every morning I look at my weather report, yung dito.
Okay.
Yung AQ, IQ, it's an app.
Yeah.
It tells you the pollution levels. Grabe dito sa Pasay. It's 101 yesterday.
You have asthma.
Yeah, asthma. Yeah, I tell my friends, if you're elderly, you have respiratory problems, keep away from Metro Manila.
Okay.
Go to Tagaytay, to some SBMA, or to, keep away.
So the clean air is
crucial.
Okay.
Yeah, and yung Dumaguete has a campus town. They have Siliman.
That's a good university. Yeah.
They have the Central Visayas. And
but I see that there are a lot of Americans who retire there. I mean, are they drawn to the same things? Or
Yes.
Is Dumaguete offering some benefit or service or incentive for retirees to choose Dumaguete? Or is it just the food? I don't know what it is.
Alam mo yung kasi alam mo yung mga expats dito sa Pilipinas, they have their networks on social media.
Sure, yeah.
They grade different cities.
Okay.
From Clark all the way to Davao. What are the advantages?
Sure.
The cost of living, the quality of healthcare.
Sure.
Very crucial yan. In Dumaguete, for example, because of the demand side, since 15 years ago, they now have 4 hospitals, 3 new ones, and of course the upgraded Siliman Medical School. And and the big challenge for them, and here in the Philippines, the past few years, I've been to Clark, I've been to SBMA, I've been to Davao, and Iloilo, Roa City. We're losing the best and brightest of our healthcare professionals. I went to a new hospital in Puerto Princesa. You have 2 floors vacant, but what happened here? We don't have enough nurses. So this is the big challenge, for our young folks to go into the healthcare profession, be it doctor, nurse, caregiver, whatever, and focus on dito sa Pilipinas because we have this tsunami of retirees coming. Oh.
There will be jobs for them here.
They will have jobs, yes.
Yeah.
And many of our elderly Filipino-American physicians, retired nurses want to come back here. 2 weeks ago, they had the International Nursing Summit.
Yeah.
You know, half of those nurses want to retire here.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if that's just anecdotal, but there you talk to more Filipinos in the U.S.
Yes.
than we do. This is really a thing.
Yes. In fact, I'm glad that I joined your stakeholders seminar 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
A survey would be a crucial part of your to survey your Filipinos overseas, especially in the United States. What are their plans?
Yeah.
Have they seriously considered about retiring?
Yeah, I think one of the things we want to do was maybe to have a more evidence-based study on the cost-benefit analysis of retiring in the Philippines from the perspective of the retirees, right? Because like you have roots in Dumaguete, you're drawn there, and there are many other reasons why maybe your sister was drawn to Palawan, but there's nothing like an evidence-based study just really to craft or base policy on. So we'd be interested in working on that with you because of course the demand side is in the U.S. Right?
Yes.
But we need to figure out from a cost-benefit analysis or viewpoint why it would make sense, right, for Philams to come home, because the viewpoint from here is that ganda na buhay doon eh, di ba? They have it's a first world. Why would they want to come back to the Philippines? Di ba?
Yeah. Just to clarify the latter part, the situation in the Philippines, in the United States, I should say, for elderly, is getting more and more challenging.
Yeah.
The shortfall in Social Security benefits is the primary income.
Yeah.
You work 10 years in the U.S., you get a amount of monthly income. For example, I have friends who already moved back here. I think you met some of them last year. They only get $700. They work 10 years at the supermarket in Maryland. And they always worry, if I get sick in Quezon City, who's going to pay my bills?
Yeah.
Mabuti, the wife has another $600, so magkano na yun?
Yeah.
So they have at least, but they feel taken care of here in Quezon City.
Yeah. No, my uncle, I think I mentioned this to you, in Tagaytay. We're so happy that we're looking at portability of Medicare, Medicaid, but I think his costs in California alone were so high that they just even without the portability, it was financially wise for him to come here, because at least now he has a driver if he needs to go to the hospital or if he needs to go to Metro Manila to see some of our relatives for a medical checkup. But he has a live-in caregiver with him. Of course, he has a helper. All of these things he did not have in the U.S.
Exactly, and that's the challenge now. Promotion, having both the CFO, PRA, DOH work together as we originally planned way back in the early millennium years, because there has to be a systematic, a roadmap. And I'm glad that I hear that DOH is doing one on medical tourism, which should be part of the... Kasi alam mo, mga seniors natin, luki-lu yan eh. Pupunta rito, ano ba ang maganda rito sa Cavite o sa Tagaytay? They will do their due diligence for those, many of them who have the skill set and the knowledge to do so. Kasi it's a big investment. Most of them have a nest egg of at least 100,000. Plus there are many have worked there for 10, 20 years.
Right.
Our nurses who retire, our doctors who retire, Philams, they have at least $500,000. $2 million minimum of assets. Okay, they want to make it last for their golden years, which becomes very expensive sa US. Kasi if you don't have savings for your final few years on Earth, it'll run you at least $250,000 just for healthcare coverage
in the U.S.
In the U.S. Wow. Luckily for them, they have Medicare. But see, nursing home care, you'll be running at least $10,000 minimum a month. If you need hospice care, another $5,000 a month.
But again, devil's advocate here. But Philams can always fly to the Philippines.
Yeah.
They don't have to establish residency here. What's wrong with that, or is that a viable, I guess, lifestyle or for Philam retirees, or when I talk to my mom, she doesn't want to travel anymore. But
Yes.
but what's the
Yeah, I think you've showed the picture, because most of the active retirees like myself, mga snowbirds, we go back
Yeah.
and forth. We spend here 2-3 months, then we fly back.
Yeah.
But when we sense na mahina ang tuhod, hindi na kami walk around the neighborhood, balik na ako ron kasi at least mayroon akong mag-aalaga sa akin. I can go to the mall once or twice a week with my alaga. So, nag-aalaga. So, yan ang mga scenarios that we'd like to paint in a very rosy way to our Filipino Americans in partnership with our Philippine government agencies. Because we have very interested entrepreneurs like the Philippine Federation of Chambers, Philippine American Chamber, who'd like to invest here. They're looking around real estate opportunities, mga mom and pop. Okay, they have their retired doctor, they have $1 million to invest of their retirement funds. They will look for a place who can have 4 or 5 beds. Kasi ngayon yung model sa California is that yung 6 beds concept, kasi instead of an institution ng mga 100 beds,
Right.
that's very, in my opinion, very unfavorable to the elderly. They have to be taken care of. Quality
personal,
care. Six. And many of our smaller outfits here, our partners in Cebu, in Iloilo, here in Quezon City, are doing that. They're retired doctors. They invest. Okay, I have an empty nest situation. I have 4 rooms. Gawin natin para sa mga assisted living nursing care for expats and overseas. I've been to some facilities. Gulat ako, mga Germans. From mga taga New York.
Yeah.
I went to the one in Iloilo sa Mabuhay Homes.
Okay.
I went there. Wow, there are 2 Filipina nurses, no childless, mag-asawa.
Yeah.
They were suffering from dementia. But they made their move to be taken care of. So those are the examples. Yung Life Care Philippines, this is Cebu, run by a well-known Floridian Philam. Ang ganda, she's expanding to Rizal.
Wow.
Yes, 50 beds. Sabi ko, can you provide the same quality of care at your facility na mga 15 in Cebu? Ganun mga usapan sa mga retirees because we'll be competitive with the other countries that are looking into this.
Right. So despite our challenges, there is a demand, and of course, I pledge you while I'm here at CFO will help you convince our Philams to consider retiring in the Philippines. Eric, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. But before we end the program, you want to maybe make a recruiting pitch to those watching to also rally behind your cause and lobbying effort?
Thank you, Klink. To our audience, we appeal to you to visit our website, usmedicareph.org. And we also have a Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. It's US Medicare PH Inc. INC. And join our campaign, especially for those in the United States. You have to write letters, send emails. It's very easy. You can use your smartphone, or you can send them an email supporting our legislation, Medicare portability. Using our website, we have a template on our website. You can cut and paste on your email to your Congress members, especially in California, where we have almost 2 million.
Philippines.
Hawaii, in fact, you'll have a big delegation coming in end of the month from Hawaii, because they need to be, Congress members have to hear our Filipino-American voices. We have a leadership summit in Colorado in August. That's empowerment. Its timing's perfect because the elections are in November. So ganito, we have to really get you, our audience, both in the United States and the Philippines, to engage. Yung mga nandito sa Pilipinas, think about opening a retirement home. Maraming kawawa, they have only limited, $700 a month. Until Medicare's become fully portable, they want to come back. And yung mag-asawa, they can share a room at they have $1,500 a month. Think about those business projects, opportunities for our local homeowners dito sa Parañaque or sa Pasay. or even Tagaytay, the demand will be there. Kasi alam mo sa mga Pilipino, they will ask questions, saan ba makatira doon tayo? They will ask, they will look on social media, Facebook, or where's the, how are you treated in Tagaytay? Magkano ba dyan yung monthly rent? Magkano na ngayon yung nag-aalaga ng mga seniors? All of these things are part of the mix. And for our entrepreneurs here in the Philippines, work with your government agencies to have a retirement medical tourism roadmap. That's crucial. By the way, some of agencies are spending a lot of money for doing roadmaps. Supposedly, they should work together. That's what the big challenge dito sa Pilipinas. And thank you so much, Klink, for hosting this program for our betterment of our Filipinos overseas.
Well, thank you also for the lobbying effort, for championing that cause, and we are with you and behind you in this effort. Thank you to IBC 13 for making this program possible. This has been your Chairman's Report. I'm Dante, and I will see you next week.